सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Yeah. Gita means song. Bhagavat Gita means celestial song. Where is this sung? What was the occasion? In Kurukshetra, just before the beginning of the war, Arjuna became a despondent, seeing the potential death of billions of people or millions of people. At that time, song. How does one sing at that time? It is so because the death that you see, the death that Arjuna sees, is an illusion. Is a delusion based on wrong knowledge, wrong information. Wave is born, wave dies. Water is not born, water doesn't die. Wave is nothing other than water. So therefore, for one who knows that water alone is with the wave, he is not perturbed by the birth and death of the wave. So is Krishna, therefore he sings. Not merely the death is an illusion. Through this death of the millions, and all of them are going to the next level of consciousness, including the Kauravas. Including the Kauravas, fighting this war of dharma. They go to the next level of consciousness. Therefore, it's a win-win situation. And hence Krishna sings. Even then, such a major event, Arjuna says, at the end of the talk, maybe an hour, my confusions have gone. Now I am ready to fight. Tell me what to do. How does things change so fast? Because the difference between the Arjuna who was despondent and the Arjuna that become again valiant is the difference between confusion and clarity. So all our problems are like that. The problems are problems because we do not understand the problem. Once we understand, we know all of them are opportunities for evolution. You need them. The all-kind, the all-loving, the all-knowing, the all-merciful Lord doesn't give anybody with is not necessary for their growth. Since you need them, you get them. You resist them, you cannot progress, you cannot evolve. This non-resistance and acceptance is called surrender. So therefore, Arjuna said, I am now surrendering to you, please teach me. Shadhi mam tvam prapannam. And the problem being of ignorance, solution is knowledge and not any action or procuring or reforming. Hence, Krishna gives the knowledge and there is clarity. Then you see the problem is no problem. This is true to all our problems. Therefore, what was a particular problem for Arjuna, the solution became universal for all of us. The solution becomes universal for all of us. And now, here is a clue in the 13th verse, where if you meditate on what I say, meditate means what? Close your eyes, follow the words, see the truth of it in you. Close your eyes, not now, at home. At home you practice this. Close your eyes, see the truth of what I am saying in your own bosom, and then you will experience what is said. This is immediate. Tonight, after the class, you can get it. And you will experience that. And that is the ultimate experience. Don't think that's small. It's the ultimate. After that, still you will be the same old man, because the habitual errors of thinking, the habitual errors of associating are still there. They have to be reduced through analysis, understanding. And that is said in the verse 14. That is said how to reduce them, how to see them. And then what happens? The entire logic is summarized in 15, 16, and 17. So from 11 to 17, it's very tight logic. So 11th verse, he said, you are grieving for things that should not be grieved for, because you are grieving for Dronacharya, Bhishmacharya, that they will die. They are eternal as self. They are the same self as you are. What you see there is only the bodies. Nobody dies, nobody lives. The best of explanation of this death, phenomena of death, was by a Sufi saint. He said, I died as a stone, I became a plant. I died as a plant, I became an animal. I died as an animal, I became a human being. When did I ever become poor by dying? When did I ever become poor by dying? Therefore, you are grieving for things that have no grief. Wise people know what is death, therefore they do not grieve over dead or dying. Ashochan anvasochaha tvam prajnavadansya bhashase gatasun agatasuncha na anusochanti panditaha. Why? There is no death. Natvevaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadipaha nachevana bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. There will never be a time when I do not exist, nor you, nor all these people. And for eternity, there will never be a time when people cease to exist. How is that? The logic is given in the next verse. Dehi nosmin yatha dehi kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptihi Dhiraha tatra namuhyati. When you were born 3 kg, maybe 10 inches or 12 inches. After misappropriating the food of many, now you are 80 kg. But are you the same who was born at that time? Now, every 7 years, every cell in the body changes. The cells that were there when you were born have changed several times now. Nothing is there. Yet, you want a birth certificate, you go to the corporation, they will give you birth certificate. You are not that person who were born. And physically, if you take it, you are not the same person. Your properties are not taken away because you have changed physically. When you were born, you were small, then you cast off that body figuratively and took to the body that you need for your youth. After that, that body is left. Then you took to the body which is fit for contemplation. After that, you need to live this life of wisdom through contemplation. You need again a younger body. Therefore, you take rebirth. So nobody, when the body dies. You pass on from one body to the other body. Now, what is this meditation I am suggesting? You see in yourself the various bodies that you had, and you feel that one who remembers all these changes. That one who remembers all these changes necessarily must have been the one who witnessed the changes, experienced the changes, but did not change himself. Feel that in you. Little difficult. I will give an easier method now. I will give much easier. Sit quiet. Do not try to calm the mind. Do not try to suppress the mind. Do not try to do anything with the mind. Just watch the mind. Just watch the mind. Procession of the mind is future to the past through the present. That's the procession of the body too, the world too. The marching in time, future to the past through the present. So watch your thoughts. They are marching from future to the past through the present. Just watch, don't do anything else. And see who is watching. See who is watching. And you are able to see that also, who is watching. But now you feel that one who is watching, the watching entity. That is you. There, the experience of the soul, self, spirit is complete, which if you faithfully do what I said to you today, it can happen today itself. It can happen today itself. After that, it's complete. After that, because you still have the past footprints of your actions, which are called vasanas, likes and dislikes, habitual errors will occur. But now you know what is right, what is truth, what is not truth. You will no more be baffled by those habitual errors. When they come, you say, they are not me. This is me. This is called meditation. To negate what you are not and to assert what you are is called meditation. That way, when different moods come to you, which is necessary and a must. Moods will never be the same. You must be able to watch them and say that belongs to the illusory entity who identifies with the body, who is called ego, not me. I have the ego, I have the body, I have the mind, I have the intellect. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am neither the ego, because I see all of them. What is seen is object, the seer is the subject. I see the body, I see the mind, I see the ego, I see everything. This I is the subject who never changes, who doesn't need anything else to see. If you see the outer world, you need the senses and the mind. To feel yourself, you don't need the senses or the mind. It reveals itself by itself. That is you. Now, how to go through the various emotions that you get in life? How do you pass through them? Hold on to these. They themselves become helpful to you. As I said, do not try to change the mind, just observe. So these various changes that happen to you in moods become helpful to you to recognize the one changeless, absolute, blissful, eternal consciousness. So how do you control those emotions? 14th verse says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya Sitosna sukha dukkadaha agamapayano nityaha tam titikshasva bharata. Matraha, sense objects. Why sense objects are called matraha? Because they are measured. Matra means which is measured. That's why tablets and all are called matras, because dosage. Matra, sense objects, measured, finite. Kaunteya, son of Kunti, Sita, Ushna, Sukha, Daha. By their very nature, they bring the opposites to you. Heat and cold, joy and pain. Like this, the duality of opposites is brought to you for your growth. You need them. We need summer. In summer, the water evaporates and becomes the clouds. Then you become the atom when they are condensed. Then you need the rain. What is the point in complaining about summer, winter, and all that? You need all of them. Stupid to complain. So are the various climatic moods in you. You need them. To complain against them is stupidity and ignorance. Go through them. You need them. So he says, Matraha sparshaha tu kaunteya sita ushna sukha dukkha daha. When I am sleeping, am I conscious of sorrow or joy? When I am sleeping, not in dream. When I am sleeping, I am not conscious of my sorrow, of my joy, of the weather outside, of my possessions, of the various diseases in my body. I am not conscious. Why? The mind that connects you to the external world of experiences. The mind that connects you to the external world of experiences is dormant in sleep. You need the mind to experience. Hence, you do not experience. On waking up, this mind becomes active, so you experience. Even then, You are busy thinking something deep. Somebody goes before you. You are not conscious. They have gone before your eyes. After some time, when you have come to normalcy, you ask them, when did you come? I came long back, I went before you. You are not what? Because the mind should be available to receive that stimuli. So any sorrow, any joy is only when you, through the mind, feel that joy or sorrow. You have the option to switch off. How many people switch off during talks? You have the option. So, when you experience joy or sorrow, heat or cold, lift the mind to something greater that you enjoy, something more precious that you enjoy. I'm going to make a rash statement, which I am used to making rash statements, which you may be upset. When somebody dies, a calamity in the house, the man who sits and goes on weeping is not conscious of the other's sorrows, and he is not trying to help them to get over it. I put it reasonably mild. Earlier, I used to use even stronger words. He is not conscious of other people. Otherwise, he will be busy in trying to give them solace. So it's only when you identify with the situation through the mind, it's capable of giving you joy and sorrow. Now, it happened to me. It happened to me on a particular February 26th. 2-3 hours before my sister died at a Tirushui, Ramana Bhagavan's place, heart attack. We were celebrating birthday party of one of the family members. We had finished eating and all that. Because she is a noble soul, she didn't disturb that also. After we finished the dinner, we get the message. While she was dead 3 hours back, we were all enjoying the party. If death alone brings sorrow, the moment she died, we should have become sorrowful. It's not death alone. It's the information that you need, your mind to connect. Even if you have the information, you are passing on the road, you saw an accident, death, you saw, you had the knowledge. It doesn't cause you sorrow till you know it is a close friend of yours. Then you get into sorrow. So therefore, the joys and sorrows are through your identification with the situation, which is called the ego, personal likes and dislikes. Detach, see all of them to be the play of the Lord, sending you in procession for your own welfare. Detach, and that very detachment, you have become immortal because you have detached from the mind. When you detach from the mind, you are that consciousness, you are immortal. So joys and sorrows can help you to become immortal because you can detach from that mind. And when you detach, you become immortal. That's said in the next verse. Let us see this verse, word meaning. Matra sparshastu kaunteya sita ushna sukha dukkha daha agama payinaha anityaha tam titikshasva bharata. Matraha sparshastu, only when you recognize them, contact them, they are capable of giving you joys and sorrow. You can shift your attention from the individuality, the ego, to the totality and to reality, the God. Shift your mind from the ego to the totality and to God. They come and go. There's no choice. They cannot be the same. Joy comes, it cannot remain. Sorrow comes, even that cannot remain. But you hold on to that. Agama apayanaha tam titikchasva bharata. You should be able to endure them. Why? If you endure, you become immortal. How do I become immortal? By enduring? Next verse. Before I go to the next verse, here two lovely words are used. Kaunteya, son of Kunti. Kunti mother, after undergoing through innumerable problems, at the end of the war, after all your people have died, tells Krishna, Krishna gives me sorrows all the time. Vipada santunaha. Give me adversities all the time. Why? I do not think of you as deeply as I think of you in sorrows. And when I think of you in sorrows, you reveal yourself to me even in my heart. And then sorrows and birth and death all disappear. Therefore, Krishna, give me sorrows. You are the son of that Kunti. How can you lament? And then Bharata, Bha, knowledge. Rata, one who revels. You are Bharata, one who revels in knowledge. How can you become stupid to think you are the body? That's the meaning of Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya. Sita Ushna Sukha Dukkha Daha Agama Payanaha Nityaha Tam Titik Anityaha Tam Titikchasva Bharata. So he has now told us this self is immortal, the death is an illusion, and the joys and sorrows that you encounter can be transcended by intelligent living. Because the question you will ask, it's not death alone that gives us sorrow. Parting also gives us sorrow. Our own known people, parting also gives us sorrow. For that, this answer is the 14th verse. How does this joys and sorrow help you? Will make you conscious and try to detach from the joys and sorrows. And when you detach, you are that self, like in sleep. When you detach from the mind, you are that self, that blissful, eternal, conscious existence. So the very joys and sorrows can become an aid for your meditation, for the experience of the self. Therefore, next verse he says, Yam hina vyathayantyete purusham purusharshabha samadukka sukham dhiram somrutatvaya kalpate. Yam, that person, he na vyatayantete, these torment not, afflict not, affect not. What these joys and sorrows, the opposites, the opposites affect not, the joys and sorrows. Purusham, that masculine person. In Gita or in any Veda, when they talk about man and woman, it's not the physical man and woman, the masculineness and the feminineness. That Purusha, because all of us compared to the Lord are Stris. Only the Lord alone is the Purusha. The Lord alone is the Purusha. So, somebody is talking, please put off your mic. Yamhina vyatayanti. Purusham Purusharshabha Samadukka Sukham Dhiram Saha Amrutatvaya Kalpati. Him whom the Sukha and Dukkha do not torment, he becomes fit for immortality because he has quietened the mind. In a quiet mind, you can experience the self. He has quietened the mind. In a quiet mind, he can experience the self. Therefore, you have to practice being the same. Sama dukkha. Sama means same. Being the same in dukkha and sukha. Right? And when you do that, what will happen? You will discover that what is Amrita, because he said Amritatvaya Kalpati, he becomes fit for immortality. What is that immortality? He says in the next verse. That's why we told you in the beginning, this is called Sankhya Yoga, because logical. Every verse leads to the next question, which is answered in the next sloka. So logical that we have very little to explain. The next question, this thing, what is immortality, is said. Na asataha vidyate bhavaha, na abhavaha vidyate sataha, ubayoho api drustaha antaha tu anayoho tattvadarshibhihi. So, in Vedanta, real means that which is there all the 3 periods of time. Unreal is that which is seen but will not be there in future. If you see something, if it will not be there in future, it was not there in the past also, because your science says matter and energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So you see something, it's not there next minute. It was not there in the past also. Then what does it mean? What you see is an appearance of something real that supports. You cannot see even unreal without a real supporting. Dream is supported by your existence and consciousness. Dream is supported by your existence and consciousness, which when they reflect in the parade of the thoughts, they are animated. Your existence and consciousness paraded, reflecting in the parade of the thoughts, become the entities. Become the entities, the individuals. That's the dream world. So there is a truth there. There is something non-truth. It's a mixture of truth and non-truth. So is this world, a mixture of truth and non-truth. What is truth? What is non-truth? In ornaments, gold is the truth which doesn't change in the 3 periods of time. Earring, chain and bangle change all the time. The earring, chain and bangle are nothing but the appearance of the gold. Gold is real, earring, chain and bangle are unreal, though you see them, because they were not there in the past, they will not be there in the future, they are only appearances. This is called mithya, this is called maya, means only names and forms, concepts, mind. Behind all the concepts and mind, there is a reality like the gold in all the ornaments. So also if you see the world, if you think it is maya, if you think it is mithya, it has to be supported by something that's called eternal existence. Therefore, like the ornaments are nothing but the gold, the world is nothing but that God. If you see the world as God, it is real. If you see the world as you see it is real, it's maya. That's all the difference between real and maya. In all ornaments, is there anything other than gold? Gold plus a name and a form. Because gold you cannot wear as it is. Gold, when you make it into a form, you can wear it. You made it into a form, then you give it a name. Therefore, gold plus name and form. If it is a plus, you must be able to detach. I tell you, please keep the gold with you. I want to go to marriage, give the name and the form. Can you give me? Because the name and the form are nothing but the gold alone. Gold in it has a capacity without changing to appear as though it is changing. Like the waker, without changing, has in him the capacity to appear as though he is changing. The water has a capacity without changing, has the capacity to appear as wave and bubble. You understand? This appearance is called mithya maya. It's not totally unreal because it is supported by the real. Therefore, our Sri Adi Shankaracharya said, somebody asked him, please tell me this truth in a simple way because I can't go through the logics. Okay, you want that short and simple, I will give you. I don't need even in a full verse, I will give you in half a sloka. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahma iva na aparaha. Brahma Satyam, the existence eternal is there all the 3 periods of time. Jagat, that which you are seeing, changing, Jayati, Gachati, Jagat, is Mithya, is only an appearance. Jivaha, this individual, in fact, is not different from Brahman. Jivo, Brahma, eva, na aparaha. He is only that Brahman. So the world that you see is nothing but God. In that sense only, you are told Tattvamasi, that you are. And you experience, yes, I am not this, I am that, Aham Brahmasmi. It's not arrogance. When you say Aham Brahmasmi, what you call me as me is only that Brahman. Right? And therefore it says, all of us have 5 aspects. Asti, existence, Bhati, consciousness, Priyam, happiness, bliss, Nama, Rupam, name and form. Adyatrayam, the first 3, Brahma Rupam, Tatodvayam, Jagad Rupam. The next 2 are Jagat. The next 2 have no existence other than the first 3. So this is called real. In you, you see what is real. The body is changing, but the existence is not changing. The various thoughts are changing. The consciousness is not changing. When you sleep, when you detach from the mind, intellect, body, you are blissful. This existence, which is life, because existence, if it exists, it has to be life. Life, if it has to be real, it has to exist. They are not 2 different things. This existence, this life, when disconnected with the mind, is blissful. Therefore, they are all the same. Your existence, your consciousness, your bliss, your happiness. Also, whatever I love gives me happiness. I love myself most because everything else I love, because I love myself most. Therefore, I am the source of total happiness. Right? Now what you should do? Meditate in the lines what I said. How will you meditate? Go on thinking. How do you think? Read Gurudev's books. Listen to the Gurudev's cassettes, videos, or my own videos, or this thing. Listen. Read the books. Go on thinking. You will have the blessings of the Lord and you will experience. And now we have talked about the real and the unreal, or the apparent. What are they is not given, is given in the next 2 verses. Avinashitu tad vidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinashamavyayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. Avinashi, indestructible. Tad, that what you are seeking, Brahman, as though it is far away. Therefore it is said Tat. Avinashi, indestructible. Tat, what you are seeking, with thee know. What is that? How do I know? Yena sarva midam tatam, by which all this is pervaded. How do you know something real in the ornament? By which earring, chain and bangle is pervaded. Gold pervades all of them. That is real. How do you know what is real in the wave, in the bubble, in the ocean? Water pervades everything. Therefore, water is real. How do you know the waker's consciousness is real? Because in the dream, the enemy, the friend, and all that is pervaded by the waker's consciousness. So, that which pervades everything, the eternal existence, is indestructible. Vinasham obvious, that eternal blissful existence, obvious, imperishable, na kaschit kartum, nobody can ever destroy it. You can destroy an ornament, but you cannot destroy gold. You can destroy a wave and a bubble. You cannot destroy water. Right? So you cannot destroy existence. Then what is apparent? Mithya, unreal, antavanta ime deha, nityasyokta shariranaha, anashinaha, aprameyasya, tasmad vidyasva bharat. Of the one Anashinaha, one who has no destruction. Aprameyaha, immeasurable, infinite. Nityasyava, ukta sharirana, eternal indweller in the body. Of his, these bodies are destructible. These bodies are destructible. Antavanta ime deha, bodies. Why it is deha? Dahyamanatvat, because it can be burnt. It's called deha. Sharira, it is called because shiryamanatvat, because it's subject to decay. The one in this sharira is called shariri. The one on the deha is called dehi. Dehi is indestructible. Dehas are destructible. Shariri is indestructible. Sharira is destructible. Yayenam vetyahantaram yaschainam hanyate hatam ubhautau na vijanitaha nayam hanti na hanyati. Arjuna, you think you are going to kill all of them or they are going to kill you? Both of you do not know the truth, because this Atman, this self, this consciousness, this existence can neither be killed nor can kill. It can neither be killed nor can kill, because it's all pervading. That which is all pervading cannot be killed or kill, because to make a change, to kill, you need space. Where it alone is there everywhere, no killing is possible. Yeyenam vetyahantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhautau na vijanita nayam hanti na hanyate. This you can use it for your daily use also. You cannot kill, you cannot be killed. So also, you cannot be hurt, nor can you hurt. What is hurt is the body, mind, intellect. You are not the body, mind, intellect, so you cannot be hurt. And he is concluding that logic and giving directly now, up to now indirectly, the nature of the self. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvatoyam purana na hanyate hanyamane shirire. Ajaha, unborn. Mriyate, it doesn't die. Kadachit, at any time. Na ayam bhutva, nor having it coming to being. Bhavita vana bhuyaha, it ceases to exist. Water, having come into being as a wave, doesn't cease to exist. Water is ajaha, no birth. Therefore, water has no death. Na ajaha na mriyate. When you say no birth and no death, in between there are 4 stages of modification: growth, disease, decay, etc. Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, nashyati. Asti, vardhate, jayate, viparinamate. Something else is there in between. Okay, these 6 changes happen to all perishable things. Right? Viparinamate apachiyate nashyati. Asti exists. Jayate born. Vardhate grows. Viparinamate metamorphosizes. Apachiyate decays. And then vinashyati, it's destroyed. These are the 6 stages for the body. The self doesn't undergo all of them because self is different from them. Because it is unborn, it is eternal. Ajaha, nityaha, eternal. Shashvataha, permanent. Puranaha, most ancient. Nahanyate, hanyamane, shirire. When this body is killed, it's not killed. 2 words are used, eternal and permanent. Why? Oh, my job is permanent. You are not yourself permanent. What is the job permanent? It's relative. When you say nitya, it's permanent, it's eternal, it's absolute. Nitya is absolute. Even from the absolute standpoint, it's It cannot be destroyed. Even in the changing phenomena, relative phenomena also, this self cannot be destroyed. Ajaha, Nityaha, Shashvataha, permanent. Puranaha, most ancient. Why? Everything born in time has to change. This is before the time. Because time itself is the gap between two events. So this was there before the first event was born, and hence before time. And whatever is in time is subject to birth and death and change. What is before time is not subject to birth, death, and changes. And therefore ever fresh. Pura, though old, Nava, new. This self, though old, is ever fresh. Puranaha. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. When the body is killed, the self is not killed. And Veda avinashinam nityam yeyenam ajam avyayam. Katham sa purusha partha kam gatayati habdikam. How anybody can dent or kill this Atman, which is avinashi, indestructible, nityam, eternal, ajam, avyayam, unborn, and which doesn't exhaust, inexhaustible. One who knows this self to be like this, Veda, one who knows this, how can he kill? See, it's only ignorance that feels I am killed or I am killing. And now what is the death that you are seeing? A lovely example is given. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grukhnati naruparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnan anyani samyati navani dehi. As the worn out clothes are cast off, take to new clothes. So also these worn out bodies are cast off, take to new bodies. There is no pain in casting off the torn clothes and take to new clothes. There is joy. So also for an enlightened man to cast off these torn bodies, to take to new bodies, there is only joy. How do you say that? Torn clothes. We see young people die. How do you say it is a torn cloth? Who decides a shirt or a cloth is to be used how much? The wearer. Some people use it for 5 years. Some people use it for 1 year. Some people use it for 6 months. I was told a particular queen doesn't use the same cloth second time. In a day, the queen has to change 8 times. 8 times the dress that changes is never used. Some people, car, they buy every year. Mobile, right? Some people buying a 10-year-old car is a thrill. So who decides? The wearer. So therefore, that person at that age decides this body has served its purpose for me. I need a different body, different environment. So he kicks and goes. So is the stillborn babies. That baby wanted only that much experience in that womb. And therefore, vasansi jirnani yathavaya vas jirnani vasa jirnani torn out vasansi close yathavihaya as you cast off anyani samyati navaniti you pick up other clothes tata similarly sharirani vihaya or casting of all the bodies jirnani this dehi the indweller in the body Navani samyati. He picks up new bodies. Okay. So that is death. That is death. And now the type logics have been given up to now from the nature of this self. He is now coming down. That's our tradition of Vedanta. We don't assume people cannot understand. So start talking from the lower level. We give the highest in the beginning. If you can understand, leave him. Otherwise, come down step by step. Up to now, The tight logics have been given. Now he's coming down for the sake of us to explain how it cannot be killed even from known sources of killing. Nainam chindanti sastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapah, na soshayati marutaha. You have only the elements create. The same elements can destroy. Right? Elements, earth, in the form of sword and all that, same earth. They can kill. Fire can burn. Wind can dry up. Water can drown. This self cannot be killed by weapons because the very power that makes you lift the weapon is that self. To kill, to make a change, to cut even the wood, you need space for the two pieces to move. Since there is no other space where the self is not there, you cannot cut it. The weapon cannot move because there is no space where it is not there. It cannot be cut. The parts cannot move. Nainam chindanti sastrani, nainam dahati pavak. Fire cannot burn because the very fire that burns is the self. Not only that, fire is gross. Even fire cannot burn space. How can it burn the existence that's even subtler than space? So, nainam dahati pavaka, nachainam kledayanti apaha. Water cannot wet it because for water to go, you need porous. And since there are no holes, there is no porous, water cannot go. Nasoshayati marutaha. Wind cannot dry it up because there is no moisture at all. So all known methods of destruction, he has said, and through them also the self cannot be destroyed, and hence death is an illusion. And he concludes that what he said in the earlier verse in the next verse. Achodyoyam, adahyoyam, akledyo, asosya evacha, nityaha, sarvagataha, sthanuhu, achalaha, ayam, sanatanaha. This self cannot be cut, cannot be burnt, cannot be wet, cannot be dried up. Why? Because it is nitya, eternal. Means what? Sarvagataha, all-pervading. Sthanuhu, motionless. Achalaha, sthanuhu, stable. Achalaha, motionless. Ayam sanatanaha. This is ancient. Here two words are used. Sthanuhu, achalaha. Achalaha, stable. Mountain is achala. Mountain is sthanu. Tree is achala. Sthanu, stable, mountain. Tree, it doesn't move, but the top can move within that space through the wind. This self neither absolutely nor in the body moves because there is no place where it is not. And then he comes down much lower to explain to us. Athachainam nityajatam nityam va manyase mrutam tatapitvam mahabaho naivam shochitum arhasi. Jatasya dhruvam mrityuhu dhruvam janma mrutasya cha tasmad apariharyarthe natvam shochitum arhasi. Jatasya dhruvam mrityam. For one who is dead, he must be born. You cut the tree, it has to become wood. You burn it, it has to become charcoal. You powder it, it has to become dust. Never can you make it non-existent. This is what the science says. Matter and energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It only changes forms. And if therefore you say something is dead, it must be born. If something is born, it must be dead. Right? And therefore, he says, Na atachainam nityajatam nityam vam. If you think things are being, I am seeing continuously being born, dying, even if you think like that, nityam vam annasevrutam, tatapi tvam mahabhav. Even though mighty arm, your strength is not in your physical arms, your strength should be in your mind. Mahabahu, naivam shochitamarhasi. You should not weep for, because jatasya dhruvam mrityu. For one is born, for one who is born, death is inevitable. And janma mritasya, birth to the one who is dead is inevitable. Tasmad, over which apariharyarthe, you have no control, or cannot be changed. The shochitamarhasi, you should not grieve. You should not grieve. And then he gives one more logic. Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyakta nadhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. The wave came from unmanifest condition to manifest condition, becomes unmanifest. What is birth of the wave? Unmanifest to manifest is called birth. Manifest to unmanifest is called death. That's you and me. Avyaktadini bhutani. Beings are in the beginning unmanifest. Vyakta madhyani bharata. In the middle they are manifest. Avyakta nidhananyeva. They become unmanifest at the end. Tatraka paridevana. What is there to grieve for? Because there is nothing lost. Only manifestation, unmanifestation, like the wave of the bubble. There is nothing to. Then he sees in Arjuna's face, oh gosh, I was thinking all these people are going to die. Krishna makes it so simple, so nobody is going to die. This is a wonder. The whole thing is listening as a wonder. Because it's something which we never thought of. Gurudev says, what is a wonder? When I see that, I say it is a chair. Because I saw that, my intellect connecting to previous experiences says this is a chair. When I see that, I say it's a TV. When I see something totally new, my intellect cannot explain what it is. Therefore, that's called a wonder. What you see, experience, but cannot explain is called a wonder. Arjuna sees the whole logic of what Krishna says, but he is still not able to digest. Therefore, there is a wonder. And whenever you say a wonder, it's always positive. You don't say a wonderful murder. Wonder is always positive. So here, Bhagavan says, don't worry, Arjuna. This is the same condition of all who listens to this Vedanta for the first time. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidyenam, ascharyavat vadati cha anyaha, ascharyavat shrunoti. Ascharyavat cha yenam anya shrunoti, srutva api vedana chaiva kaschiti. When people hear about this, it's a wonder. When they experience about it, it's a wonder. And when people talk about it, it's a wonder. But there is a wonder of wonders. Even after being told, people do not experience it. That is wonder of wonders. Unless somebody tells you, you cannot know it by yourself because it's subtle. Somebody has to tell you that. Though it is yourself, somebody has to point out. And when they point out, you feel, oh, I thought I am a useless fellow. I am God. So you feel it with wonder and hear it with wonder. And the man who talks it, how don't you know this about you? He talks it as a wonder. Wonder of wonders, even after being told, you don't realize. Dehi nityam abadhyoyam. Dehe sarvasya bharata. Tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitumarhasi. Dehi, the indweller in the body, nityam, all the time, abadhyoyam, cannot be killed. Tasmat sarvan. So is the case of all beings. So Arjuna, natvam shochit, you should not grieve for the potential deaths that you are seeing in this war. And now he takes another standpoint. Even as a Kshatriya, you have to fight this war. That is Kshatriya Dharma. Swadharmamapi chavechya na vikampitum arhasi dharmyadi yuddha shreyaha anyaha kshatriyasya na vidyati. Each of us, to exhaust our psyche, subconscious mind, it has to have a field. A poet needs a field to express. An artist needs a field to express. A businessman needs a field to express. By expressing, you bring out the subconscious thoughts outside, you become pure and clean. If you are detached, if you are attached, you go on adding. Detached, when you work in the respective fields, you become pure. So each one of us has a trait. You have to reduce those traits. These traits are called vasanas. Vasanas are the footprints of action. Action has gone, but it has left few footprints. Vasana is fragrance. Food is gone, but the fragrance is there. So it is these vasanas that make us act as an engineer, doctor, good man, bad man, criminal, saint. For each one, we need a field. You are a Kshatriya. A Kshatriya has to annihilate adharma. You need a field. A poet can create a field. A doctor can create a field. How a Kshatriya can he create a field for exhaustion of the... Can he create a war? It's unfair. But you have got on its own, without asking, this field for you to exhaust your vasanas. How do you exhaust your vasanas? When you dedicate them to your cause, the existing vasanas in you come out. You don't pick up new vasanas. When you do it with ego, at every time you pick up new vasanas. This is called karma yoga. So now Vyasa or Krishna is telling Arjuna, even from the standpoint of Swadharma, you have to fight this war. So he says, Swadharma vapichavechya, na vikampitumar. Even from your Swadharma, you should not be shaken like this. This is an opportunity. Dharmyadi yuddha shreyaha kshatriyasya anyaha na vidyati. For a Kshatriya, a righteous battle, without his asking, there cannot be anything greater because he can exhaust his vasanas. And it has come to you without your asking. Yadruchya upapannam swargadharam apavrutam shukinaha kshatriyaha partha labhante yuddhamidrusam. Without your asking, yadruchya, it has come to you. Upapannam, it has approached you. Swargadwaram apavrutam. The gates of heaven are open to you. Heaven means a greater state of mind. When you bring out the vasanas, your mind experiences joy. That's called Swarga. And when you act as a Kshatriya, the mind cleansed, you experience a greater joy. That's called Swarga. So it has come to you unasked. Cleanse yourself, enjoy the Swarga which has come to you unasked. Sukinaha Kshatriya Partha Labante Yuddhamidrusha. Kshatriyas, people who have to annihilate adharma, establish dharma, they are a happy people when they get opportunities like this. Therefore, Atachetvam dharmyam sangramam nakarishyasi tataha swadharmam kirtim chahitva papamavad. In case you miss this opportunity, what happens? You have not only not exhausted your vasanas, continuously there will be suppression and regrets in your mind. They become the new causes of sorrows. Hence, you gathered papa. Papa means that which gives you sorrow. You have not exhausted the existing vasanas. You picked up new vasanas. So your papa, your source of sorrow, has increased by not fighting this war. And then what? Avachavadancha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha nandantastava samarthyam Tato dukkataram nakim. All other people, they will speak up words that should not be spoken of. That you don't deserve, they will speak. Avachavadan, bahunscha, unspeakable words they will speak. This fellow, don't you know he was a eunuch in Virata Parva? This fellow, he saw me, got frightened and ran off. Like this, they go on speaking words that cannot be spoken of. Avachavadancha bahun vadishyanti tava. People who are waiting for this opportunity, your opponents, your enemies, they will talk like this. Nindantastava samadhyam tato dukkataram. They can talk anything, but a man who fought battle for Indra, therefore Indra shared the throne, a man whom Shiva could not defeat, a man who single-handedly defeated all the Kauravas in the Virata Parva, they say this fellow cannot even lift a bow. Can there be more shameful than that? You can talk all about a great cricketer, whatever you want, but if you say he cannot even take a bat, that's insulting. You can talk about his looks, you can talk about his education, you can talk about several things. But he's a world-renowned batsman. If you say that he cannot even know how to hold a bat, that is really painful. So also here, they will talk all about your talents and capacities. Tataha dukkataranukya. What is more sorrowful than that? Hato va prapsasi swargam jitva va bhutshase mahim tasmaduttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krutanischayaha. If you are killed in the battle fighting, you have reduced vasanas, you go to the next level of consciousness. That's called swarga. Hato, if you are killed, you will go to swarga. Jitva, if you conquer, you go to swarga plus bhutshasema, you will enjoy this earth. If you win, you enjoy the earth and go to Swarga. If you die, you go to Swarga. Therefore, either winning or losing or dying is a gain only. Tasma uttishta. Arjuna uttishta, get up. Kaunteya, son of Kunti, yuddhaya krutanischayaha. Having decided to fight this battle of life. This is applicable to all our battles of life. We should not sit down. We should have faith in the Creator. We should have faith in the God. He supports us. He sent these things to us. There is a solution. Let's go through the battle of life. Let us hold on to that Lord, like Arjuna has to hold on to Krishna. And therefore, if I had to fight in the battle of life, how? Indiscriminately? Stupidly? No. There is an attitude through which you exhaust the vasanas. Don't pick up new vasanas. That's called karma yoga. When you are detached from the results, when you are working for a cause totality, you exhaust the existing vasanas. Do not pick up the new vasanas. When you work for ego, you pick up new vasanas. This karma yoga starts from this verse 38. It goes up to 53. So, in Gita, there are 3 verses which summarize Gita, Karma Yoga. 38 of 2nd chapter, 47 of 2nd chapter, and 30 of 3rd chapter. They are the gist of Karma Yoga. Here, he says, Sukha dukke same krutva, labha labho jaya jayo, tato yuddhaya yudyasva, naivam papam avapsasi. Having made Sukha and Dukkha, joys and sorrows, equal. It doesn't matter. For me, fighting the battle is important. Through that, I become clean. Winning or losing does not matter. Any good sportsman never thinks of the results. If he thinks of the results, his efficiency goes. He only thinks of the strokes, what he has to play. He enjoys. In tennis in those days, now it is all gone. If the opponent hits a good this thing and you cannot respond, you take the racket and say, good shot. You shout, good shot. Opponent, Here also, life is not for winning and losing, to go through the battle to purify. Therefore, sukha dukkhe same krutva, making sukha and dukkha equal, labha, alabha, gain and loss equal, jaya, jayo, victory and defeat equal. These three, sukha dukkha, jaya, jaya, right? Jaya, jaya, gain and loss are at three levels: the body, mind, and intellect. At the level of the body, gain and loss. At the level of the mind, sukha and dukkha. At the level of the intellect, jaya and ajaya. All these things, you try see them equally because they belong to the body, mind, intellect. You are not the body, mind, intellect. Your business is only to fight so that dharma is established. You become pure in the process. Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labhu jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam avaps. Why should I fight then if I not for sukha dukkha labha labhu and all that? For the sake of the battle. For the sake of the battle, why? There should be some reason, some end to eradicate your papas. If you do that, naivam papam avapsasi, you shall not get sin. Sin is that papa through which you regret, through which you feel guilt, through which you become sorrowful, through which you want to repeat, through which you become dependent. These are called sins. These are called vasanas. And when you detach and work for a cause, you don't gain new vasanas. Therefore, that is the purpose of acting, facing the battle of life. And also the Kurukshetra war, gain and loss, victory and defeat. These are not important. Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labho jaya jayo yuddhaya yujyas. Only for the sake of fighting the battle, you must fight. If you do that, naivam papam avapsas, you shall not incur sin. So he's starting Karma Yoga, and that was the beginning. Now he's going to tell us about the Karma Yoga, and he says, Yesha te vihita sankhe buddhi yoge tvimam srunu buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. Yesha te abhihita sankhya yoga. Up to now, I have told you the So, up to now, I taught you the logic of the self. That's called Sankhya Yoga. Now, I shall give you the wisdom concerning how to act with that knowledge. That's called Yoga Buddhi. Buddhi Yoga is said here means Yoga Buddhi. Sankhya Buddhi, Yoga Buddhi. So, up to now I have given you the Sankhya. Now I will give you how to internalize this through Karma Yoga, how to cleanse this self and fit for contemplation. Yesha te abhihita sankhye buddhihi. Now, yoge, this yoge buddhihi tu imam srunu. You listen to this. Buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasasi. Aligning yourself with these thoughts, with this wisdom, you shall cut off all the bondages, limitations, bound through your actions, and make you repeat. Go through the process of repetitions and sorrow. Take births. Karma bandham, bandham bondage. Karma bandham, bondage born out of action. Prahasyasi, you shall cut off. Through what? Karma Yoga. Up to now, I have given the logic of this self, the eternal nature, Sankhya Buddhi. Philosophy has two sides, like any science. Theoretical and applied. Theoretical science, the logic of the spirit. Now the applied sense is going to talk about Karma Yoga, which is called Buddhi, Yoga Buddhi. and also it has in it an element of bhakti, because in Karma Yoga, you serve all others, seeing them as God, totality. To work for the totality is called Karma Yoga. So I am going to talk to you. Listen, he says. Neha vikramanasosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Now, I'll stop here, though there is a lot of time, because I have covered a lot. I can assure you, because you may think, from 14, I have done 13 and 25 verses. I have missed something. No, I have been conscious. I have not missed one thought that should be given to you. Only thing is, I was fast. I did not use unnecessary, unwanted examples, because you have to meditate, you have to reflect, you have to make them your own thoughts. By reading the books, listening to the cassettes, you have to make it. Giving you too much elaborate thing, will be lost in those things, examples and all that. You will not get this. So I was fast, but I did not miss one point that you need. I was conscious of that. So I did fast. I came up to 40. Tomorrow, next class, we start the 40th verse. So though there is time, no, I don't want to take up the new theme now. So we will do it tomorrow. Okay. Next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyati Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyati. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you all. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hari Om, uncle. Thank you, uncle.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you all. God bless you. God bless you.